Rome, 41 AD. The most powerful empire on earth. From the cold forests of Germania to the burning deserts of North Africa, one man ruled it all. His word could raise armies. His signature could end bloodlines. His name was Caligula, and history remembers him for one unbelievable decision. He tried to make his horse a senator. But this story is not about a horse. It is about power, and what happens to the human mind when nothing can stop it. When Caligula became emperor in 37 AD, Rome rejoiced. He was only 24 years old, young, energetic, charismatic. The son of Germanicus, a beloved general the people adored. To many Romans, Caligula was not just an emperor, he was hope reborn. For months, everything went well. He paid generous bonuses to the Praetorian Guard. He hosted public games. He lowered certain taxes. He freed prisoners who had suffered under the previous emperor. The city celebrated him. Crowds filled the streets shouting his name. For a brief moment, it felt like a new golden age. But power is patient, and something was about to change. 7 months into his rule, Caligula fell gravely ill. The details are unclear. Some historians believe it was a severe fever. Others suggest poisoning. For weeks, he drifted between life and death. The empire held its breath. What happens when a young emperor dies too soon? Who takes control? What chaos follows? When Caligula finally recovered, the relief quickly turned into unease. Those closest to him began noticing something different. His moods were sharper, his temper shorter, his decisions stranger. It was subtle at first, but Rome would soon feel it. Caligula began humiliating senators publicly. Men who once commanded respect were forced to run beside his chariot during games. Powerful elites were mocked, insulted, reduced to nothing. He demanded worship, not loyalty, worship. Temples were built in his name. Statues erected. He reportedly began referring to himself as a living god. For some, this was madness. For others, it was strategy. If you convince people you are divine, who dares challenge you? But the line between confidence and delusion is thin. And Caligula was walking it daily. Among all his strange behaviors, one stood out. His horse. Incitatus. To Caligula, this was no ordinary animal. He built it a marble stable. The walls were decorated, the floors polished. The horse wore jeweled collars. It was fed the finest oats. Served by attendants, given luxuries most Romans could never imagine. At first, the Senate laughed quietly. Surely this was a harmless eccentricity. But then came the rumor. Caligula intended to appoint Incitatus as consul, one of the highest political offices in Rome, a position of real authority. A position senators spent their lives competing for. And now, a horse might hold it. Was he serious? Historians still debate this. Some claim Caligula truly planned to give the title. Others believe it was a calculated insult. Think about it. If you wanted to humiliate the Senate, what would hurt more, calling them corrupt, or proving an animal could replace them? Perhaps this was not insanity. Perhaps it was domination, a demonstration that power did not belong to tradition, but to whoever held the sword. And Caligula held many, but even emperors cannot escape consequences forever. As years passed, Caligula grew increasingly suspicious. He saw betrayal everywhere. Friends became enemies. Allies became threats. Executions became common. Some senators were forced to take their own lives. Others were quietly removed. Fear began to replace loyalty. The people still watched the games, still filled the arenas. But something had shifted in Rome. Whispers replaced cheers. When rulers rely on fear, they begin to fear everyone. By 41 AD, resentment had grown inside the palace itself. Even members of the Praetorian Guard, elite soldiers sworn to protect him, felt humiliated. Caligula reportedly mocked them as well. No one was safe from his sharp tongue. And humiliation is dangerous. On a cold January day, Caligula walked through a narrow palace corridor. He was relaxed, unaware. A small group of guards approached. They did not kneel. They did not speak. They drew their blades. In seconds, The most powerful man in the world was surrounded. Steel flashed in the dim light. Caligula was stabbed repeatedly. He fell to the ground, 28 years old, 4 years into his rule. Dead. Rome did not collapse. The empire did not burn. The Senate did not mourn. Instead, our moved on. Another emperor was chosen. Another name carved into history. Incitatus, the horse, faded into legend. But the story remained. An emperor, a horse, a senate humiliated, a mind consumed by power. So was Caligula insane? Or was he something more complicated? Did illness damage his mind? Did absolute authority distort his reality? Or did he simply understand a truth others refuse to see? That power is not about respect. It is about control. And when control becomes unlimited, the human mind begins to fracture. History remembers him as a madman, but perhaps he was a warning, a reminder that no one, not even an emperor, should hold power without limits. Because when a ruler believes he is untouchable, even a horse can become a symbol of rebellion.